All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Championship 4 Media Day. Thank you all for being here. And to our core media, thank you for your tireless efforts and coverage all season long. Your long days at track and hard work have resulted in great coverage and content for our fans, and the fans win with that. Cannot thank you enough for that. 2017 has been a thrilling, exciting, and importantly, historic season for NASCAR. And we'll be getting into that and discussing the detail with our Championship 4 drivers in just a bit. But before we get into that, I'd like to cover a few housekeeping details before we start rolling here. Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Facebook Live, and NASCAR.com Press Pass will be covering this event live in its entirety. In addition, a number of television and radio outlets will be recording this as well for airing on tonight's primetime shows. We ask that you please keep that in mind and please silence your cell phones during this event. The format for today's event is going to be a question and answer period. Direct your question to the individual or group of individuals as you see fit. And as always, please identify yourself and your outlet when asking the question. And now, before we start the program, let's take a look back at some of the intense action we've seen during the 2017 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs.
16 drivers have separated themselves from the rest. They will be the drivers fighting for a championship. Truex Jr. is going to win the first race of the playoffs.
Kyle Busch has made a spot in playoff round number 2.
It's a late game rally. Kyle Busch wins at Dover.
Truex Jr. will win the Bank of America 500.
He will punch his ticket into the final 8 for the championship run.
Brad Keselowski has won at the Talladega Super Speedway.
Oh, God, that takes a lot of stress off for next week.
Win number 7 for Martin Truex Jr.
Gotta beat him to the line, beat him to the line, beat him to the line. Yes, sir, checkers.
It is Kyle Busch going to victory lane.
And going to Miami.
Hello, Homestead. Kevin Harvick wins the AAA Texas 500.
The march to Miami continues. Matt Kenseth becomes the spoiler today in the Arizona desert.
Kenseth's going to win at Phoenix.
And Brad Keselowski joins the championship 4.
A lot of pressure on these drivers. This isn't just another race. They know this is the big race.
And now, without further ado, let's begin the process of bringing the real talent up here on the stage. It's my great pleasure to introduce Championship 4 Media Day host, NASCAR and NBC pit reporter and studio host, Kelly Stavast.
They throw the word talent around very loosely these days. But nonetheless, I am Kelly Stavast from NBC Sports. Welcome to the Championship 4 Media Day here at the beautiful Lowe's Miami Beach Hotel. It's been a fascinating, historic season capped off by an emotional and intense 10-race playoff. Soon we'll hear from those who battled all the way to the finale and will take center stage on Sunday in hopes of capturing the biggest prize in motorsports, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series Championship Trophy. But before we do that, I'd like to welcome the many fans listening in on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio or watching on NASCAR.com and Facebook Live. We thank you so much for your passion, and we hope you enjoyed today's press conference. And to my fellow media members, on behalf of NASCAR, thank you so much for your coverage today and your dedication all season long. Now, I know some in this room are covering this sport for the first time, and we certainly welcome you and hope that you enjoy your NASCAR experience this weekend. All right, so this is it. A grueling season featuring the best drivers in the world will end on Sunday at Homestead-Miami Speedway, where only one can be crowned the 2017 Monster Energy Series champion. With that, let's bring out the 4 competitors who will vie for their place in NASCAR history on Sunday. First up, with the patience of a champion, he grabbed the final spot in the Phoenix Desert. The 2012 Monster Energy Series champion and driver of the #2 Miller Lite Ford for Team Penske, Brad Keselowski.
Here comes Brad Keselowski almost up to the quarter panel, now to the door, right by the number.
TikTok, the witch is dead, boys.
Brad Keselowski out front.
Keselowski's going to win at Talladega. It will be Brad Keselowski fighting for the championship in Miami.
His Monster Energy Series high 7 victories helps him clinch an early spot in the championship 4. The driver of the number 78 Furniture Row Bass Pro Shops Toyota for Furniture Row Racing, Martin Truex Jr.
And he's on his way to the round of 12. Martin Truex Jr. wins.
He will win the Bank of America 500 at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Oh, my brother, back-to-back in Kansas. Nice job, Martin Truex Jr.
A brilliant 3-win playoff performance put him on the doorstep of a second championship. Driver of the number 18 M&M's Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing, Kyle Busch.
He's held off the competition. Kyle Busch is going to win in the Granite State.
Looking to steal the victory this afternoon in Dover.
It's a drag race. Kyle Busch will win. Guaranteed a spot in the championship 4.
To the man, pal. Get her done.
All right, and finally, the 2014 champion, he completed a stirring late race pass for the win at Texas to land himself a spot in the championship 4 for the 3rd time. The driver of the number 4 Busch Beer Jimmy John's Ford for Stewart-Haas Racing, Kevin Harvick.
The man they call the closer, Harvick, headed for home off turn 4.
He has won at Texas Motor Speedway.
On Homestead.
Kevin Harvick, he is now a part of the championship 4 in Miami.
All right, so Brad, Martin, Kyle, Kevin, we look forward to hearing your thoughts on this championship weekend. So with that, we're going to open it up to some questions. We have guys standing by with microphones, so if you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand and please state your name and affiliation before asking your question. I see Kenny Bruce there.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. You guys have raced all year under a format that awards stage points. With that not being the case for you all on Sunday, do you approach the race any differently as far as game planning, pit stops and things like that?
Depends when the caution falls. You know, I think going into the race, obviously you have that in mind, but you know, I think you know, the stage points have been so important throughout the year, and if you come to a spot where you know you're deciding between points and tires, you know that can be a tough decision. So, you know, I think everybody knows you're going to put 4 tires on this week for the most part, unless there's extreme circumstances, and the stages you're just trying to position yourself as far forward as you can because they don't matter. So if it comes out 2 laps before, everybody's probably going to pit anyway.
Right.
All right, do you want to answer? Go ahead.
I didn't know if he wanted everybody, but yeah, I mean, I think that obviously we're not racing for the stage points, but Kevin brings up a good point where the stages are still going to happen. So you've got to position yourselves and make sure that you're doing the right thing in order to be in the right position for either the rest of that stage, or when you know those stages are going to end, those caution periods, how they're going to fall, and then getting yourself set up for the end of the race.
All right, I think I saw Jeff Gluck with a question.
Jeff Gluck from jeffgluck.com. For Brad and Kyle, you know, we've seen rivalries pop up in NASCAR and then they quickly disappear. But it seems like the one that you have, for whatever reason, the animosity has continued over the years. Why do you think that the dislike between you two has gone on for so long?
Is that, which one is it? Was it for me or Kyle?
Both you and Kyle.
Well, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it. You know, I think, you know, looking for this weekend, you know, there's 4 of us up here on the stage, and for probably both of us, it's not enough to beat each other. We got to beat everyone to win a championship. So it'd be, you know, at least from my perspective, a little bit foolish to get caught up on any one person. But you know, I do think that you know, both of us are fortunate to have great cars, great teams, and you know, when you run up at the front a lot, you know, things are going to happen when you're going fast. So. You know, I feel like, you know, where we're at in the sport right now, we're both going to be here for a long time to come, as for the other two, as long as they are wanting to, as long as they want to as well.
Call me old.
So, you know, I think, you know, it's one of those things where when you race at the front and you're racing for championships, it's a great position to be in, and just the way it has unfolded. And I think probably if you look across the field, everyone has had some run-ins with each other. I think probably all four of us have probably ran into each other over the course of our careers, but that's part of the fun of the sport as well.
Sometimes you just don't like a guy. Fact of the matter. I never ran into Matt Kenseth. I don't think Matt Kenseth ever ran into me. So, you know, there is a respect factor out there on the racetrack, and you can certainly do a better job sometimes when you're around some of those guys that you may or may not necessarily like. But as once a wise man told me, I think it was Chase Elliott, I race those how they race me.
All right, moving on. We've got a question up front.
Jordan Bianchi, SB Nation. We've seen in the playoffs the intensity has increased and guys are willing to do just about anything to win a race or to move on. So I'm asking you is what is the line Sunday when the championship is on the line?
Sorry, I didn't hear it.
What are you guys willing to do with the championship on the line?
I mean, I'm willing to go try to win the race. I think everybody here is. It's hard to really say, Jordan, what's going to happen. I think, you know, you got all these different things going on out in these races that, you know, you look week to week. There seems to be so many different scenarios. I don't think anyone could have predicted what happened, you know, last year with the restarts and the chaos and all that. And, I don't know how you can really make a prediction when you don't know how the race is going to unfold and fall out. But, you know, it's a great opportunity to win a championship with this format, with it being kind of set back at zero. If it wasn't set back at zero, we'd probably all be congratulating Martin right now with the season he's had. So, but it is. So everyone has an opportunity, and it's just off the finishing position and not the stages, you know, as I think Kenny was getting to. So when it comes down to the end of the race, I don't think anyone really knows that answer until it's right in front of them.
Anyone else want to answer that? Where the line is?
I'll wreck any damn one of these three. That's what you want to hear right now. I mean, I'm going to race these guys just like I do every single week. I've not thought about any desperation moves. I don't plan on being in that position. You know, I think perfect scenario is to go out there and race them heads up and beat them fair and square. That's how I approach racing. That's how I plan on doing it Sunday.
All right, down here.
Brian Mapes of Xfinity Racing. All four of you are Xfinity Series champions. We wanted to get your picks on who will join your club on Saturday.
William Byron.
Yeah, so William looks really good, but you know, I think that's a great crop of drivers. Any one of them could be a champion in my mind. I think Justin's ran really well. Trying to remember, Daniel Hemrick, he has put himself in position, but William has definitely kind of set the bar really high for a rookie and winning the races he has. So he's probably the safe pick.
I like Sadler. Sadler drove for me, and I know how close they came in 2011. And yeah, it's for the old guys, right? Right. Yeah.
For the old guys.
I didn't know I was going to be the guy that get bashed for being old up here. I do feel old compared to at least two of you.
I'm looking forward to watching the race, to be honest. I think you got Sadler, who's the veteran. I won't call him old.
There you go. That's a better word. I should have had a better choice of words.
I'm a veteran too, and I'm 32.
Yeah.
Good guy. I've known him a long time, and I know he's been real close. But you know, the other three guys. I mean, Allgaier's been really impressive, and you know, he's been around a while, and you know, trying to kind of get his first championship. So that'd be good to see. And then you got William and Daniel, who obviously are going to be around a long time as well. A couple of young guys coming up that are really, really talented and do a nice job representing the sport. So I think either one of them would make a great champion, and it's definitely going to be an awesome race to watch.
All right, we had another one up front.
Yeah, Martin Al Pearson's Auto Week. Could you very briefly tell us, late in the 13 season, did you maybe think your career was over late in 13?
There was a night where I sat on the porch and thought there was a chance I may never race in the Cup Series again, at least competitively. You know, it was you know, late in the season. Found out I wasn't going to have a sponsor, obviously, for the next year. So I didn't know of any rides available. I didn't know anything. You know, I didn't know of any opportunities at that point in time. So I knew it was it was definitely going to be a tough road, but got fortunate that Barney Visser called, and we were able to put that deal together. So it was just a matter of luck and timing, to be honest, that it all came together. And obviously the rest is history, so very fortunate.
Okay, time for just a couple more. We'll start over here.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net and Performance Racing Network, and this is for any of y'all. But Martin hit on it a while ago. You'll risk any of the three, but where do the mind games begin and where do they stop? Every one of us is wondering what's going to happen to you guys when you get on the track and how you put Kevin or Martin or any of y'all talking trash to each other about how you focus on the race itself and not what's going on off the track.
I think, for me, it's really about me and my team and how can I put them in the best position to have the calmest weekend possible. I don't want Rodney answering questions. I don't want to have to answer questions because, for us, I feel confident in where we are as a team. I feel like we're here to win this championship with the momentum and the things that we've done over the last few weeks, especially on the mile-and-a-half racetracks. Our cars have run well. We won Texas and are doing what we have to do. So we came here with no intention other than to win this championship, and there's really no reason to. It's not boxing. This is a car race, and there's a lot of things that are involved in it. It's not my mind against his mind. It's my team and everybody that has to show up and navigate the weekend, because this weekend is not like any other weekend that we've been to. It's not like any other week that you've been to. There's a lot that goes into navigating the weekend, and when you pull into the garage, when you walk into the garage this weekend, it's not going to look like the same garage. There's going to be people everywhere. You're going to have sponsors everywhere. You're going to have people that you hadn't seen all year. So there's a lot more to navigate. But from a performance side of things, I feel good about where we are as a team, and I don't feel like screwing that up. If you had to punt and you were kind of on the outside looking in, hoping for a prayer, you might need to do things differently. But that's how I feel.
All right, time for one more over here.
Isabel Gonzalez, the Racing Experts, and ESPN Albuquerque. This is for all four of you. If you had to describe this season with one word, what would that be?
Long.
Trying.
Amazing.
Well, I guess that leaves me.
Yeah.
I only get one word. I was never good with rules. Well, I think anybody in the media here would probably go with Kevin's answer, and I'd say long.
Long. All right. Well, with that, we're going to end this short press conference. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We hope you enjoy your Ford Championship weekend at Homestead-Miami Speedway, which culminates with the crowning of one of these drivers as the 2017 Monster Energy Series champion, live on NBC, MRN, and Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Each of our 4 title contenders will now be available for breakout sessions this afternoon in the back of the room. And enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.